Good morning, everyone. I am Richa Angela Sapon with my group mates Raha Cristal Arcilias, Maria Luisa Consuelo, and Teligen Gonzaga. We are going to present a research entitled Unveiling the Series of Past Events Behind Barangay Tinawagan.
Introduction. Barangay Tinawagan is one of the places located in Tigang, Camarines Sur who constantly make a remarkable history. Every place and things in the world has its own story to tell. By knowing the origin of certain place, a learnings will put into the mind of every citizen so that the mistake from the past will never be repeated again. We gather information through interview using unstructured questions in which the respondents share their experiences from the past. The respondents are Mr. Teodolfo Ompo Espinosa Sr., former barangay captain in Tinawagan, 86 years old, and Mrs. Salvacion R. Calio, resident in Barangay Tinawagan, 75 years old.
Findings of study using primary source of information. Origin of the name of Barangay Tinawagan. Interview by Tidolfo Espinosa Sr. He said that this used to be Tatawagan of the tribes of Eta, then called like Tinawagan. The Eta of that time in the mountains of Sangay are gathered here to talk and solve problems because it is far if you go there. That's why they meet in the middle, so it became a place to call. The major product that Tinawagan was known for. In the past, most of the abaca came from here. The abaca plantation was probably about 500 hectares. Indeed, major product was known in Tinawagan is abaca.
So this is all according to our interviewee one, Teodolfo Espinosa Sr. So this is the English translation because from the interview, the language he used is the Bicol as the local language. So to translate in English, what happened to abaca? It gets a bunchy top. So bunchy top is a disease of banana and abaca. So from the word bunchy top, so the top of the leaf of the abaca is getting a disease or a virus. So the corn when you harvest, so I mean it starts when the corn started to plant corn. So according to Tidolfo Espinosa Sr., the corn when you harvest it, it falls on the abaca and affects on it. So that's the cause of the depletion of abaca in Tinawagan. So they changed the crop, shifted from abaca into corn since abaca doesn't grow like it did before. So they changed and or shifted to corn. They have changed the crop because in the past you couldn't plant here in the field because it was full of abaca. So that was the livelihood of the people here in Barangay Tinawagan in the past. So the first encounter of the Philippine Army and New People's Army in Tinawagan in 1970. It was held in the spillway of Barangay Tinawagan. So when there's a shooting, the people used to hide in the chapel since it is the only concrete structure in that time in Barangay Tinawagan because the houses of the people and or residents in Barangay Tinawagan are made with abaca. Since it is the major product or the only livelihood, the major livelihood rather of the people in Barangay Tinawagan in the past. So the reason of the NPA was to voice in so they can have freedom from the bosses that time. A rich man once owned approximately 200 hectares of land. So most of the people here in Tinawagan was laborer of a rich man in Barangay Tinawagan. So there's no freedom to vote in whatever they want. Instead, they follow only the the order of their boss because the boss has the control of every poor people. So the part in Tinawagan that was called evacuate. So during that war, between NPA and Philippine Army, there was part in Tinawagan that was named evacuate. So according from our interview to Salvacion Arcalio, we live from Barrio and gathered here in Tinawagan. That's why up until now, we were called evacuate. So the people as well as the place that gathers the people in the past was called evacuate from the word evacuate because they transfer from their home in the area in the Bicol term in Tinawagan, transfer in Tinawagan.
So,
The past events in Barangay Tinawagan have been pictured out in the mind of every old generation. As the time goes by, people had been learned it lesson that every mistake in unwanted situation have significant impact in making future. Time is running, we can't undo every action we do. The things we do in present will suddenly turn into memories and make a history.
This is the documentation during the interview.